All right, this is John Cola with OKRaw.com. Today we have another exciting episode for you. I'm still coming at you from the Canada Fruit Festival 2019. It's been a great time. Everybody's pretty much packing up, but some of our speakers have hung out, and I'm glad you have done so I could actually make a few videos with, with the minimal distractions. But today I actually have the pleasure of introducing you guys to Chris Kendall. Maybe you guys know Chris Kendall, maybe you don't, and if you don't know him, you should know him because he's totally cool. I mean, this guy makes some of the best recipes. If you're looking for some good raw food recipes, actually buy his recipe ebooks that he offers. He has free videos on YouTube and on his website, therawadvantage.com. You could check out to get some of those recipes. Definitely follow him on Instagram. His Instagram posts make my mouth water. Not joking on that one. He's been into raw foods now for 15 years, certified nutritionist, does coaching, all kinds of crazy stuff. And he even healed his leg that he got like hit by like a truck and like it was like totally messed up, discombobulated. Yeah. And he's healed pretty fast according to his doctors. We're not gonna talk about all that today. We're gonna talk about eating something more important.
Yes.
It's about eating.
Yeah.
Knowing when to eat, why you should be eating. We're gonna talk about true hunger, how's that felt. We're gonna talk about appetite, all these different things so that you guys could know when you guys should eat because you guys, in my opinion, should not be eating at 8 o'clock, noon, and 5 o'clock, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, or whenever you guys think by the clock, because that's definitely not when to eat, although maybe it will be for you after you listen to this episode, so stay tuned for this. So, Chris, and then the reason why for this episode is because actually I went to both your talks. Well, you probably gave more than two, but one on appetite, one on this topic, and actually one on social skills, which, this guy he has a lot of experience, much like me. And, I really like how your presentation went off to help people about, getting to know appetite and hunger and all these things. Awesome. So let's just get right into it, Chris. Let's go ahead and try to summarize your talk. That was like an hour-long talk into 15 minutes.
Here we go. I'll try. Thank you so much,
Yeah,
John.
no worries, man.
Absolutely pleasure and honor to be talking with you here. Known each other for quite a while, and always love your videos, love your channel.
Thank you.
So blessed to be here. I think this is really an important topic too, because a lot of people eat for reasons other than true hunger. They eat for other reasons than really like their nourishment, just eat by the clock or eat for distraction or eat for emotional reasons, which is another entire topic. But you can really kind of fine tune that by understanding what true hunger is, True hunger is a pleasant feeling,
It is.
It's often felt in the throat, but not always, It can feel almost like a slight pressure on your throat, 2 fingers, but again, not always. But understanding that it is a pleasant feeling is number one. That's really number one. It's understanding what it isn't sometimes is more valuable and more easy to really identify. True hunger is not anxious, it's not urgent, it's not specific, and that's really important to note. So if you're hungry and someone goes like, here, I got some apples. Unless you have an allergy to apples or you just hate apples, if you're like, no, I just want fries or I just want like this specific recipe, that isn't hunger. That's more appetite. You might have a specific appetite for something, but not a true hunger for it, right? It's not urgent, It's not painful. It's not something that is gurgling in your stomach and causing a whole bunch of discomfort, All of these things can have many other varieties of reasons they may be, but a very common one is similar to like a cigarette smoker getting in their hoopty, getting in that kind of feeling of needing another cigarette. It's not because they actually are hungry or needing another cigarette, but their body's actually getting to a point where it's clearing out some of the surface toxic load and it's moving stuff through their bloodstream. So if there's stuff moving through the bloodstream with a cigarette, the first thing the mind thinks is another cigarette to stop that detoxification process. So if you're, waking up in the morning and you've gone through an entire elimination cycle and you wake up and stuff is moving through your bloodstream, you're still kind of getting through those last things. You might think of the last thing you ate, or maybe you've been on the raw food diet for a while and you're, not eating quite enough calories and you're burning through adipose tissue. Different things can be going through your bloodstream and you can have really weird specific cravings that aren't necessarily meaning you need that food, but instead mean that something is moving through you and you're actually expending energy on that detoxification process. So if you can get through that discomfort, which typically, like I find that's usually like 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 15 minutes, like have a sip of water, get some movement, maybe go to the bathroom, do something, distract yourself with something else instead of food. Go exercise, jump on the rebounder,
you'll forget that you're actually, well, you weren't really even hungry, that you had this supposed need.
Exactly, a supposed need. And that way you can come to a clear place where you've let that process go through And instead of having that energy half in kind of the emoting or the feeling you have, the tenseness or the headache or whatever, trying to eat when your body is, you know, dividing energy and not efficiently digesting your food, which in essence, I think it's wasting your food, because you're getting half as much, or maybe not exactly, but you're getting less for more effort, and it sometimes takes more time or can cause constipation or diarrhea, right? So if instead you just give yourself that space, that time, until you feel more comfortable, more relaxed, not necessarily worrying about the fingers on the throat, but just feeling more relaxed. You know, maybe have a sip of water if you're thirsty. Some people eat because they're thirsty. I definitely recommend drinking first, and then eat from a calm, balanced place. Make a meditation of it. You're gonna grow so much from it. You're gonna release so much from it. You know, you're gonna just come into a much better, more clear relationship with yourself and food. Now, one quick point I wanna make though, is if you have a craving that comes up again and again and again, you know, true needs persist. So if you're continually craving a specific food, that can be different than just having a, you know, a once in a while weird craving, you know. And if you're craving a specific food, look to what that food is. Look to some of the major nutrient qualities of that food, and see if you are also eating something in your newer raw food diet that matches those kind of needs. Because let's say you always crave chocolate, right? Well, if you stopped eating chocolate, you know, it may be that you're craving the magnesium in the chocolate, or maybe you're craving the stimulation. That might be another thing to look at, right? But don't ignore all cravings, but do understand that cravings that just pop up once in a while and are felt as discomfort, it doesn't necessarily mean you need that by any means, and you'd probably be better off to just wait, have a sip of water, and find yourself in a more comfortable state, you know?
So what if you're craving pretzels, man?
Well, if you're craving pretzels, it might be the salt, you know, and you might be wanting to eat more greens, more green juices, you know, or otherwise it could just be you're looking for the crunch, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, we also crave things based off nostalgia. Maybe we ate pretzels with our friends at the bar and it's just like a good memory, right? And so it's creating new memories, you know, and creating new foods that you really enjoy that serve your needs better. Because at the end of the day, if you're using foods just to sidestep or numb, that's so different than if you're eating foods to like satiate and to really nutritionally satisfy you, and creating a beneficial relationship with food rather than like an unbalanced relationship. Who wants an unbalanced relationship, whether it's with food or a partner?
Right, totally. So I really want to get into like what is true hunger, Chris. I mean, I know you said it doesn't happen in the stomach. It's not like painful.
Yep.
It happens in the throat. Sometimes I think it kind of happens in the throat / mouth, kind of like a little bit different.
Yeah.
But I know a lot of people out there have never really felt true hunger, because we live in an abundance world where you could just eat whatever, whenever you want. And, you know, my dad fasted on water for 30 days at a fasting center, True North Health Center, which I recommend you go to if you want to fast.
Yeah.
And he, you know, after about 3 days, actually, he wasn't feeling hungry.
Yeah, no, it's really amazing. And I think part of that is because our systems and our bodies are so overburdened.
Yeah.
You know, they say we have the one pot theory. It's a very simplistic look, right? And then when we're born, that pot's empty. And as we grow and we continually eat, which is so separate from nature, which is fast and famine, you know, like you're not always in abundance if you're living in nature. You have food at some times, you don't have food at some times. Sometimes you're eating the best, sometimes you're eating bark, right? And so in today's culture where we're eating all the time, by the clock, non-stop, foods that are fractionized, processed, have added chemicals and all these things, that bucket starts to add up. Stimulants, all these things, that bucket starts to add up until it starts spilling over. And that's when we start to get major symptoms, and that develops into major other issues and chronic diseases, right? So there is a time where we need to either, you know, stop adding to it, you know, or otherwise we put a hole in the bucket. But that doesn't really work, right? It's better if we stop adding to it, you know? And from there, you know, we could fast or do these different things, and that's when you really get in touch with true hunger, or that's the fastest way, right? Because you're actually giving your body a chance to start removing those things from the bucket one at a time, and it takes some time. And yeah, generally, man, people, they find like the first few days, it's pretty hard for like maybe a day or two, but by day 3 they're actually not even hungry at all. It's kind of crazy, right? Because their body goes into a totally different mode. But on the other side, if you just want to go slow and steady and you really listen to what I was talking about before, trying to eat when you're in a calm, balanced state, not necessarily full true hunger with your throat like you're getting to like almost like a...
Because maybe some people never get that. I mean, it took many years until I started being able to recognize what that feeling was.
Yeah.
And maybe I felt it, but I wasn't aware, and I would just kind of eat for whatever reason, you know? And most people may be like that, and they're like, they never felt true hunger, so how can somebody really bring that out and you know, be aware of what it feels different and what it feels like, so they'll know?
Well, no, you know...
And I don't know how to...
I think the really the easiest way is, again, to recognize that it's a comfortable feeling that you could eat, but you don't have to.
Right.
Like,
And don't let your food rule your life.
Yeah, exactly. You don't have to be neurotic about it. Like, there's abundance. We live in abundance. There's always going to be food. You know, you're not going to like run out and starve to death. It takes a long time to starve.
My dad lived 30 days on water.
Yeah, like
So-
you can skip a meal here and there if you need
no
to.
problem.
Like, if I wake up in the morning and I'm feeling a little bit anxious, or I have some rumblies in my tummy, or I have, you know, like some kind of a fog or whatever, I don't eat. I get my other stuff done. I have a sip of water. I wait until all of a sudden I feel clear and balanced, and my mouth is salivating. That's a good thing too.
That's
if you
a good
like,
thing, yeah.
If you think of like lettuce or like apple, something simple, and your mouth salivates, you're getting into hunger. You know, you're getting into hunger. But if it takes thinking about chimichangas to get your mouth to water, yeah, you're probably talking more about appetite, right? So.
All right, Chris, so just to reiterate, what is actually appetite? Because I know many people maybe may misuse that word. Oh, I have an appetite for a whatever.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, they just don't differentiate between appetite and hunger. And I think that's the main thing. They think that their appetites dictate actually need, like actual like nutritional need, or you know, it's justified so many times, like, well, I just need burgers, or I just need this. And that, again, it isn't for a true need, unless, again, it's something that persists again and again and again, and then you can find a replacement from that old food group that you had that fits you way better and fits your health and your needs a lot better than maybe that old, you know, chimichanga or burger or chocolate or whatever it may be. So appetite is essentially a in-the-moment craving for something that doesn't necessarily have to do with your true needs, but is kind of like a fantastical satiational kind of thing, right? Like, I want this really sensational thing right now, not necessarily for my needs, but because it sounds and tastes good, or it brings up nostalgia, or you know, you smell it and you're like, oh, I need that, but you don't really need it. You know, it's just that it's something that sounds good in the moment.
Yeah, or something you desire. So yeah, I mean, I really want you guys to play with your definitions and, you know, use the words properly. So use the word hunger, you know, instead of appetite. You don't have an appetite. Well, you might have an appetite, but you don't really have true hunger for that. So Chris, what is the benefit of eating when you feel true hunger?
You know, I mean, what I'd like to impress upon people is this is creating a more balanced relationship with food and yourself. Like, if you're feeling these intense emotions, or if you're feeling these things because of an appetite or because of a smell, you know, you're much better suited to take a moment, take a breath, you know, do something else, have some water. You know, it's really important to hydrate. It's really important sometimes to differentiate between hydration and hunger. A lot of times people eat because they think that they're hungry when really they're actually thirsty.
Yeah.
And you know, if you're eating fruit for hydration, I know some people who like, they'll just eat watermelon for hydration, and your body has a need to have a functional level of hydration to be able to absorb fruit sugars efficiently. So it can be hard on your blood sugar if you're just trying to eat fruit for hydration. Sweet fruits, exactly. Not like cucumbers and tomatoes and those guys, right? So, you know, get some drink if you're thirsty, eat when you're hungry in that calm, balanced state, and that also just helps your whole elimination process, because a lot of times people are on like a breakneck speed to try and get to the healthiest level at all costs, you know, and sometimes it is at all costs. It might be at a center, which it can be really great. I'm for fasting in specific situations, if it's body initiated, or if you have a chronic illness, you've been doing all these things, living raw for a while, trying to cure it with foods and with your attitude and your breath and all those things, and it's not working, well, that can be a next step. Yeah. But if instead we take the slow and steady approach of creating a nice balanced relationship with food, where you're eating at a time where you're in a calm, balanced state, you've allowed your body to go through those other processes of elimination, then you're just progressively emptying that bucket and getting to a clearer, more vital state.
Wow, yeah, I mean, that's kind of what happens to me. Basically, not through, I mean, I do want to not eat for a period of time, but just through not eating when I'm hungry, when I wake up in the morning, you know, I basically end up not eating for about 12 hours a day. I maybe eat 12 hours on, 12 hours off. Maybe one day I'd like to eat, you know, my range of not eating is a little bit longer. You may want to call that intermittent fasting. I just actually call it, I eat when I'm hungry, and my body dictates when those times are. So by default, I'm actually just not eating at other times, which then gives my body time to heal, which most people, once again, they're eating by the clock and just shoveling things in the pie hole. And I did want to say on the hydration part, right? Yeah. So people might want to drink water for hydration. Sometimes when I'm in Canada like I am, I drink maple water, which is like basically pure water, low sugar, or maybe some coconut water sometimes that has a little sugar in it. Or actually, I prefer to drink things like celery juice and cucumber juice, which are basically no sugar, but also have the benefit of the hydration, plus with other mineral salts or other trace minerals and other phytonutrients along with the ride, and plus a little bit flavor. Sometimes just drinking plain water gets really boring, especially if it's kind of junk water.
Yeah, you want to make sure you have good quality water.
Absolutely.
100%.
All right, cool. So Chris, is there any final comments or tips you'd like to share with people today about this topic?
Well, I just think that creating a good relationship with food is invaluable. It goes far beyond food. It goes into your other relationships, looking into what you really deserve, what do you want, and making sure that you're not doing things just for emotional reasons or, the uncomfort or discomfort, right? So if you can come into a place where you're eating for true nourishment and coming into more of a conscious eating pattern where you're like, eating slowly, being mindful, it just has unlimited benefits.
Wow, totally amazing. I would totally agree with all that. So Chris, if somebody wants to learn more about you, your work, get some of your cool recipe ebooks, I know you have different websites and all these things, how can they get a hold of you?
The absolute easiest place is just therawadvantage.com. I'm on Instagram too. I'd love you to follow me there or on Facebook, wherever, but you can find all those links, everything at therawadvantage.com. I want to mention too that I have like 600 plus videos, I have like 60 plus recipe videos. I've been doing a video a week for the last 10 years. Plus I have an iPhone and Android app that is free.
Wow.
And has like, I think 8 of my raw recipe books. I think I have 9 or 10 raw recipe books out right now. And it has 20% of all the recipes from each of the books free in the app. And if you love them, then you can unlock the rest of the books for the best price possible within the apps too. So
wow.
It's pretty cool. It's got shopping cart features. It's got my new pizza book, raw pizzas, low-fat raw pizzas.
I gotta try it, man.
I'm not kidding around.
Making my mouth water. I think I'm hungry.
Yeah, I'm hungry too. I might have a sip of water first.
All right, cool. Right on. Yeah, definitely check out Chris. I'll put links down below to all his sites that I can remember because he has so many of them. But definitely to his website, his Instagram, and Facebook, some of the most important. And yeah, download his app for free, guys.
Check it out.
This guy has amazing recipes. His chili recipe, is that included for free?
I'm not 100% of it's in one of those ones, but I definitely
have a video or something.
I have a video
about it
on my YouTube channel of me making chili for 600 people at the Woodstock Fruit Festival. So,
his chili is the bomb, dude. I mean, not the bomb, but it's not gonna blow up. But it's so good.
It's good. It's pretty damn
so
tasty.
good. Yeah, Sprout. Anyways, so yeah, check the links down below. If you guys enjoyed this video with Chris, want more videos of me with Chris, hey, please be sure to give this video a thumbs up. Also, be sure to share this video with somebody else that may be eating not for true hunger needs and maybe misusing the word appetite. I want you guys to use these words properly so you can really define what actually is going on and then eat absolutely when you feel that true hunger that hopefully you will feel one of these days, and just be aware of the feelings that are going on. Also, be sure to click that subscribe button right down below so you don't miss out on my new and upcoming episodes that come out every 5 to 7 days. You never know where I'll share, what we'll be learning on my YouTube channel. Make sure to click the little bell so you get notified as my new videos come out. And also be sure to try past episodes. My past episodes are a wealth of knowledge. I have a few videos with Chris. Actually, I'll link down below so you could watch some of the past episodes I've done with Chris. This guy is amazing. I definitely recommend him and his work highly. And also be sure to have fun in life. So with that, my name is John Kohler with OKRaw.com. We'll see you next time. Until then, remember, keep eating your fresh fruits and vegetables. They're always the best.